Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to address the International Arab Banking Summit. I am grateful to Frankfurt Main Finance and the Union of Arab Banks for organizing this event in Frankfurt. The reason is that Frankfurt's history can give us some guidance for the right way forward. Frankfurt's economic success is based on three enabling factors. First, its century-old tradition of being open to those who want to do business. Second, its stability-oriented institutions that provide a framework for stable markets. Remarkably, it is the only city in the world with two central banks, the Bundesbank and the European Central Bank. And third, Frankfurt is a place of freedom, democracy, and personal liberties. It was the seat of Germany's first parliament, and it is the cradle of our democracy. Openness, strong institutions, and liberal values are Frankfurt's recipe for sustainable growth. The German government is determined to further strengthen Frankfurt as a prime location to do business. We will optimize the key regulatory and institutional parameters in Germany and Europe so that companies like yours can unlock new potential. I warmly welcome you to our economic powerhouse on the Main. The Union of Arab Banks is a key institution aiming to promote financial stability and growth in the Middle Eastern and North African region. Its work, the work of all of you, is now more necessary than ever. Today we find ourselves in challenging economic times with increased inflationary pressure in the wake of COVID. Putin's attack on Ukraine is further increasing energy and food prices and sending enormous ripple effects through the global economy. Russia's military aggression is causing large-scale destruction. Thousands of lives have been lost already and hundreds of thousands of livelihoods destroyed. We do not know yet the full impact of the Russian war against Ukraine, but one thing is clear: Putin's decision is putting the global economic recovery at risk. His actions are endangering the livelihoods of the most vulnerable in particular. The Russian aggression is undermining the resilience of our value chains, and it is hurting countries that are dependent on imports of wheat and energy. Putin's war threatens the welfare of all of us. So let me assure you, we are determined to do what is necessary to respond to the global food security crisis. In these difficult times, it is our responsibility to set the course for sustainable economic recovery following the coronavirus pandemic. And it is our responsibility to ensure financial stability and to make our economies resilient to future crises. To this end, we are committed to sustainable public finances and a resilient financial system. It is increasingly important to safeguard macroeconomic stability. This is one of the main priorities of the finance track agenda during Germany's G7 presidency, even more so now given the war against Ukraine. We need sustainable public finances, a robust financial and monetary system if we want to ensure economic growth, social cohesion, and the transition to climate neutrality. In Germany, we are consolidating public finances. The US Federal Reserve has already raised its key interest rates, and the European Central Bank has announced that it is tightening its monetary policy as well. We cannot rely on central banks to deliver growth. We cannot rely on having low interest rates on government bonds. We must all enable sustainable economic growth and at the same time reduce debt levels. It is important for us to keep a keen eye on the impact of changes to our monetary and fiscal policies on third countries, especially on our neighbors in the Middle East and in North Africa. So we have the responsibility to minimize the negative spillovers, especially since debt levels are already elevated. We are committed to promoting global macroeconomic stability. We are working with vulnerable countries to soften the impact of policy changes and of rising prices in commodity markets. We are working on the implementation of the common framework for debt treatments. We are also working more broadly with international financial institutions on targeted financial support programs. We design our stability-oriented policies to also have positive effects beyond our borders. Ladies and gentlemen, the misery caused by money laundering, terrorism, and proliferation also goes beyond borders. This is why Germany is committed to compliance with the international FATF standards. This is why we are involved in further measures and institutions. We support individual countries in this region to improve their national systems for combating money laundering and the financing of terrorism and proliferation. This line of work is a priority for us. Compliance with FATF standards is key. We are increasing our efforts to put pressure on actors that engage in these illicit activities. We are also committed to fully implementing and enforcing the economic and financial sanctions in response to Russia's unprovoked aggression. We are prioritizing our business relations with those of our partners who are not only partners in trade, but above all are partners in value. And so I invite you to be value partners and at the same time be trade partners, preferred trade partners of Germany. Thank you and take care.